Autumn. Throughout the chapters of my life, autumn has emerged as my favorite season. As the leaves change, I envision myself stepping into the world on that first crisp morning, the cool air on my face. It's a relief after the months-long heat of summer. It's Monday. I have the day off, and I had to drive like 45 minutes to the chiropractor, and there's some really nice trails over here, so I decided to use my day to enjoy being outside. Adobe has these things called global well-being days, so I'm here taking care of my well-being. On my sacred days off, I've been trying to ground myself in nature as much as possible. As a person who works from home and stays tethered to their computer, I find true joy spending time outside and watching the seasons change. Here in the Midwest, fall unfurls its magic like a slow-burning film. Suddenly, there's an explosion of color and motion, a visual sonnet that paints the landscape. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually in Los Angeles right now, downtown, for Adobe Max. I don't think I've talked about this very much, but I work for Adobe. I'm a designer, and this is our yearly conference. So yeah, I'm here to work. I've got my staff clothes on, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about the things I do while we're waiting for the house build to be done. I do have a couple of small updates that are kind of exciting, but yeah, I thought I'd take you around with me, show you what I do. One of the best things about my job is being able to do something that I'm really passionate about. I get to be creative, making tools for creatives. And this was a super exciting trip for me because I was meeting a lot of my coworkers for the first time. It's been really nice to visit LA so much lately and to spend quality time with my friends and family. It's really helped to take my mind off of the uncertainty of this home build.
This costs $30. I said use a little bit. Look, it's all over her face.
Okay. Quick update, I've actually started calling other well companies because the well company that we're working with just is not able to give us a date and they're super backed up. So we're kind of getting to the point where it's a bit of an emergency because the bank wants us to wrap up this project. So I started calling other well companies to get some estimates, and hopefully we can get in pretty soon and get this project done in the next 2 months. So I'll keep you all up to date on what they say. Right now they're working on an estimate for us. Hopefully that's within our budget, and then we can get this thing scheduled and done. When we're home in Detroit, I like to do home improvement projects here as well. We recently put in this fence to create a dog yard, and the dogs completely destroyed the grass. So I'm going to lay down some landscaping fabric and cover it with gravel so that they don't get so muddy and it just looks a little bit nicer. I got most of the landscaping fabric down. And it doesn't need to be perfect because I'm going to pour gravel right over it. So it's basically just a barrier to prevent all that mud from getting through so they can stop tracking in their muddy paws, which is also why we have all this hay on the lawn. In autumn, I feel so grateful for my home, and it makes me think of the symbolism of this transition. During fall, we're all preparing to go into a sort of hibernation in winter, to emerge on the other side rested and ready for life to come back full force. We're on our way up north. I got the dogs with me. Nanak is laying down, not feeling too good because he gets like scared in the car, then he throws up. So he's already thrown up twice. So that's where we are. But it's gonna be good. And Nikolai's in another car so he can bring up the dog kennels because we're filming a couple of things. Which I will give you the details on later.
do you have 3 pairs of shoes and various pairs of pants in this car for this trip of today, this one-day trip?
I guess we'll never know.
A friend of ours asked if we would shoot content for Michigan's Creative Coast. They basically show people what it's like to live in northern Michigan. Nikolai's scene was in the bay, so he did a cold plunge, and I got to shoot in this cozy co-working space. The best part of our trip was driving around and enjoying the fall foliage, so I'll stop talking now so you can do that too.
Oh, I know. It's so hard to do that.
So last week I got a call from the bank. We officially closed our construction loan 3 years ago, so in November of 2020. And the kit for our house was delayed by about 9 months, so we weren't able to actually start construction until almost a year later. Because it's been so long, the bank wants us to wrap up this build before the end of this year, or else we'll have to refinance our loan.
So that's concerning because when we secured the loan back in 2020 at 5%, we thought it was high, but that's what we found to be sort of standard for construction loans opposed to your traditional mortgage. Things have changed a little bit since then, so now refinancing would legitimately be high at 8%, which would add roughly $100,000 to the total of the loan.
So we decided to get a little bit more hands-on and do what we could to help speed things up. One thing we were able to do was find a new well contractor, and that contractor has promised us that we'll have a well before the end of the year. And they were referred to us by a friend, so we feel a little bit more confident in that. We also found someone to do drywall for us. Not all of the walls will have drywall, some will have wood paneling. So the estimate for that was $11,000, and that will hopefully start in about 2 weeks if all goes well.
So we're now at a point where we need to prioritize the items that are going to get us that certificate of occupancy prior to the end of the year. So at this point, our order of operations is rough inspection, electrical inspection, insulation inspection, and drywall.
So wish us luck. If you have any other advice on how to speed things up in a budget-friendly way, we would love to hear it. And as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
And keep it clean in the comments.
What do you mean by that? Okay.